Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well and having a great Friday so far. In today's forecast update, we're going to be discussing Tropical Storm Melissa. And as of the latest 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time update, Melissa is a 60 mile per hour, 997 millibar tropical storm in the Caribbean, just kind of southeast of Jamaica and pretty much southwest of Hispaniola as well. So after we take a look at the quantum uncertainty right here, we will also be discussing and comparing weather models. So let's go ahead and get started with the quantum uncertainty. So as you can see, here is Melissa, and there's the track of Melissa. It's kind of been all over the place because it's been meandering around here in the Caribbean. So if we take a look forward here, we obviously have Jamaica under a hurricane watch at this time and also a tropical storm warning, but I do anticipate this to become a hurricane warning at some point in the near future. We also have the southwestern peninsula of Haiti under a tropical storm warning and a hurricane watch as well. And so if we take a look at the quantum uncertainty itself, the National Hurricane Center expects this to continue to strengthen as we get into midnight Sunday, and then as we get into Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and expected to strengthen into a Category 3 major hurricane before slowly moving westward and then making that turn towards Jamaica at some point as at least a Category 4 major hurricane at this point. And then as it crosses over Jamaica potentially and then goes towards Cuba, specifically eastern Cuba, somewhere in there, it could still be a major hurricane by this point. So that is the latest we have for any of our warnings and watches. And once again, I do expect the hurricane warnings to become in effect pretty soon. And also, I would definitely expect tropical storm watches, warnings, and even hurricane watches and warnings to be issued in two portions of eastern Cuba over the next couple of days. The National Hurricane Center suggests timing for a potential landfall in Jamaica maybe sometime Tuesday, and then a potential landfall into Cuba maybe sometime on Wednesday, and then details get a little fuzzy afterwards after the storm could potentially move over Cuba towards the Bahamas and even the Turks and Caicos Islands. Now switching over to the global models, we'll be first looking at the European operational model. This is from early this morning. So as we get going here, today on Friday and then tomorrow on Saturday, we have Tropical Storm Melissa right here, just southeast of Jamaica on the European. We go into Saturday, then into Sunday, it continues to strengthen. And before we go any further, I do want to mention the European and European AI models are some of the models that closely resemble the National Hurricane Center and what they kind of show and agree with. So we're definitely going to keep continuing to look at those two models as well. And there's also a couple more models that have been slowly kind of transitioning into what the National Hurricane Center shows as well. But as we go into Sunday here, you can see we have a pretty strong hurricane by this point just south of Jamaica right there. And then as we go into potentially Sunday evening, Sunday night, into Monday morning, it continues to drift a little bit farther westward before making that turn finally, potentially on Tuesday. And that is once again what the National Hurricane Center shows as well. And then this could potentially make a landfall as a pretty strong hurricane, probably a major hurricane by this point. Then it crosses over Jamaica, and then as we get closer into Wednesday morning, pretty much the same as the National Hurricane Center shows as well, it would potentially make a landfall in Cuba. And although Hispaniola probably won't see a direct landfall from Melissa, heavy rain will continue to move into Hispaniola, especially into Haiti and the southern Haiti peninsula over the next several days. But as we go into Wednesday here, obviously we see this moving over Cuba and then finally getting towards the Bahamas and then getting pretty close there to the Turks and Caicos. We go to the run from last night. It is pretty similar as well. Goes into the southern Bahamas, then eventually near the Turks and Caicos, and then finally goes on out to sea as we get into potentially next weekend. So we're going to be discussing this for quite some time, but still details are not clear at all as to where the storm may end up going after it kind of clears some of these areas into the western Atlantic. especially as we get into potentially next weekend. We have a lot to figure out from now until then. So if we take a look at the European AI model as well, we'll go a little bit quicker here. We go into Sunday, get into Monday. We have Melissa getting pretty close to Jamaica, and then finally making that turn going into Western Jamaica as we go into Tuesday evening, then into Wednesday morning before hitting Cuba midday Wednesday, then gets into the Bahamas a little bit further north than the operational European, and then finally goes on out sometime late next week, and still we'll have to figure out where this system may go after that. So if we back this up again, we'll look at the GFS, and I really haven't liked looking at the GFS for this system, Melissa, because it has just not been doing too well, especially over the course of this hurricane season. But we'll still look at it just briefly here. It wants to show this storm going in between kind of Jamaica and Haiti sometime on Sunday, and then just stalling out over Haiti, and then finally going in between Haiti and pretty much Haiti and Cuba, eastern Cuba, sometime on Tuesday. But if we back this up here and go to tomorrow on Saturday, you can see from the previous runs that this model has continued to correct itself, and it once showed this storm way out here kind of to the northeast of Hispaniola at one point, but it is once again began to correct itself and sort of shown a path similar to the European AI and operational model. Finally, taking a look at the Canadian model, we go into tomorrow on Saturday, and so as you can see, it wants to show Melissa getting very close to Jamaica, and then kind of making a turn slowly westward before getting pretty far out here as we get into Sunday, then into Monday. It gets a lot further west than the European operational and AI model, but it still gets it into really near Jamaica and then into Cuba. But also, if this storm were to continue to move farther west before making that turn to the north, the Bahamas would be a little bit more under the gun for a scenario like this, especially into central Cuba as well. And so I don't know if this scenario will play out, because we still have pretty good agreement that this system will turn a little quicker than the Canadian is showing. It's still worth taking this scenario into consideration. So to end the video off, we're going to be looking at the key messages real quick, and then we'll be looking at the rainfall potential from the National Hurricane Center. So feel free to pause the video if you want to and read this right here. I'm not going to read it, but just feel free to pause and take a look at that. But now we'll look at the rainfall potential for Melissa into Cuba, Hispaniola, and Jamaica, as well as the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos. So this is just a 3-day rainfall forecast, and this starts today through Monday, this upcoming Monday morning. And so some of these areas into the Haiti Peninsula, eastern Jamaica could see well over a foot of rain. As you can see, isolated 20 or more inches, isolated 16 or more inches into eastern Jamaica, over 20 inches possible in the southwestern Haiti Peninsula. That is very concerning, and this could be a potentially devastating event if this fully comes to fruition. Also, for the rest of Haiti, the rest of Dominican Republic as well, southern Dominican Republic, areas could see well over 8 to 12 inches of rain, 200 to 300 millimeters of rain, and also over here in Haiti, well over 400 millimeters of rain possible. Into Jamaica as well, well over 300 millimeters of rain possible there. As we look into Cuba, still at this time, this only goes out to Monday morning, so some of these areas could see quite a bit more than what is showing right now, but still Cuba could already see 2 to 4 inches of rain in eastern areas of Cuba, and that would be 50 to 100 millimeters. And then into the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, those areas could see well over an inch or 2 inches of rain well into Monday. And then after that, we'll have to see how this graphic is updated, but I'm sure there'll be higher rainfall forecast issued for those areas there. But once again, that is the latest rainfall forecast we have, and so we're going to go ahead and end the video there. I do appreciate everybody who continues to tune into my updates. I will try to get another video out maybe later this weekend, if not very early next week, hopefully. But once again, I appreciate all of y'all, and I hope y'all have a great weekend.